Vivid dream.
The dream.
Hey, your bars are all yellow. You're
Are
breaking
you
up.
now? The what?
Your bars are all yellow, and it says you're breaking up.
Yeah. Hold on.
Ooh, you're even recording this call. Must be
Yeah,
official.
man. Put it out there, dude. Always put it out there. It's
Nice.
conversations, man.
Should I
What do we do?
should I put on my dress shirt? I got one hanging up over here.
Why?
I
Nobody's
know.
dressing.
I know. Well, the funny thing is I've been wearing my workout clothes, and every couple hours I'll go get on the treadmill.
Must be
It's
nice.
not doing too well today though. So, but anyway,
How are you?
dude, today was actually a really good day. Strange enough, I don't know if you're on my email list or not, but basically I just started like writing, and clients come out of the woodwork. I mean, prospects and clients. And so today I was on 4 biz dev calls, which is insane. So
Yeah. Is it all
yeah.
marketing stuff or?
Honestly, a lot of it is going back to what we originally founded was because when I started my career, I was doing helping businesses go from traditional brick and mortar to online. This was so late 90s, early 2000, when it was a thing. And literally what I'm seeing now is we're seeing people doing the same thing, which is making the jump from traditional services. And they're saying, how do I make this service online?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really kind of crazy in that way. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's probably, I'd say, a more consulting advisement from that perspective, but it's been great. I'm loving it. So, but how
That's
are things
good.
with you and the wife?
Good. So far, so
Yeah,
good. We're just kind of keeping up with everybody, trying to, you know,
yeah,
give as much as we can to everybody. So,
yeah,
um, pretty busy. Um, it's kind of it's pretty busy at the moment, which is good. Um,
yeah,
trying to prospect right now is interesting, but kind of
yeah.
non-existent basically.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that prospecting is just, I think, hard. And I think one of the things I keep telling people is like, I said, quite honestly, it's like what you're doing. You just got to give. The more you give, it comes back. So
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to, obviously our current clients are the most important right now. So trying to
right.
keep them up. Like we're in an interesting sort of business. E-commerce is pretty big and all
Yeah.
over the place. Some are bad, some are good. But yeah, I mean,
Are they finding
I,
because people are home more, are they finding that their traffic's increased?
depends on the industry.
Right.
Fashion is just down. It's completely down. Beauty and fashion is just going to be down for a while. But
Oh
there's certain
yeah.
sectors that's just exploding right now. I mean,
Oh,
home gym stuff. Are you kidding me?
oh, I know.
Anything fitness is exploding.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you've got that one fitness client too, right?
mhm.
Wow. Yeah. See, I was gonna say like especially, I mean, I don't know how it is there at the shore, but it's gross. It's rainy here today. Or it's been all week, but I'm going to the gym down the hall. I call it our gym, but I've got a treadmill, I've got free weights, I've got a bench, and like it's been great. So
Good.
can't complain.
Um,
So
yeah. So making it a little structured. Brandon, tell us about yourself.
yeah. No, me telling about yourself. All right. So I'm a Cancer. No, I'm kidding. Um,
Whoa, whoa, that's a
yeah,
start.
whatever. No. So, you want company, the whole thing?
Yeah, yeah, the whole
Okay,
thing.
yeah. So, Brandon Steiger, man, I'll say so. I run uh, an agency here in the Philadelphia region, greater Philadelphia region, with my wife, who and I started it, and we specialize in pipeline optimization for B2B. So, what that looks like is we're helping businesses, and they're thinking about their basically their buyer's journey. So kind of the analogy that I use with a lot of our clients is if you think like a garden hose, you have a garden hose and you're going to water a garden and it's got a lot of holes in it. You plug the holes before you water your garden or you get a new hose. Unlike what happens in traditional businesses when something's wrong with their sales pipeline or marketing pipeline, what they do is they go hire a marketing company and they say, hey, go fix it. Marketing company fails. They just could push more leads in, but they all fail. They do it again and again and again. Definition of insanity. And so what we've done is we say, hey, pause. Let's actually address the issues. And so sometimes that looks like bad messaging, bad automation, bad, like you should have an email here, you should have a touch. And we just kind of break it down and make it much more, as we say, we just try to get back to the basics of the buyer's journey and treat people like they should be. And when you fix that pipe or that hose, then you can turn back on the lead flow again. So doing ads, etc. So we use marketing as tactics, but it's really about the strategy of fix those holes, man. That's it. So been doing it for now, 15 years in February, this last February. But been in this industry since 98, which is crazy because it was back in its infancy. So like I was telling you earlier, like my number one job was helping businesses move from traditional brick and mortar to how do you move that thing online? So it's been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. And we met a while back. It's been a while now.
Jason Fried.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Rework. Remember? Is at the I want to say Philadelphia Art Institute.
It's their architecture program. I know exactly where that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you were sitting right behind me. Yeah, you were sitting right behind me.
Though.
Yeah. And you were just talking to my wife, and I just happened to be there.
Yeah.
It's pretty typical in my world. I'm used to it. So.
Yeah, nobody talks to you.
Hey, I tell you that all the time. I'm like, guys are not there to talk to guys. So.
I mean, that's true.
You were different.
Thanks. I try.
Absolutely.
How big are you guys now?
So we're kind of I'd probably say more about that gig economy where it's all about, we call it chasing the sun. Some of our clients, actually a number of our clients require us to they call it follow the sun, meaning that we're always on 24/7. So similar to how you guys are, we've got, our main team is here in the Philadelphia area. We've got 9 people. And then we've got pockets across the United States of contractors that do work with us. But I kind of hate that term. They need another term for it, because even though they're contractors, they've been with us for, man, our average contractor right now is I think it's like 4 years. And then we got 2 different teams, near shore and offshore. So right now we're able to, our capacity is that we have basically up to 250 supporting team members is kind of how I talk about it internally. So it can, but most of all the strategy and the leads are all here in right here in the Philadelphia area. So, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's been really fascinating, especially through, a couple situations. Like we have a team out in the Ukraine area, and, a couple of years ago, you might recall when Ukraine was having political issues with Russia, and so that was always so it becomes more real as with your own teams, is because now you're talking with people like this impacts them every single day. And especially now with COVID, the conversations we have on, almost every morning with our teams are, are you guys safe? Are you healthy? How's your family? And it's been great. We share pictures of our pets and our family members. And so it's just in some ways it's been cool to connect at a different level with our teams. But, kind of reminds us of our humanity and one of the things I was talking with during our team meeting on Monday. We have a big, large team meeting every Monday. And I said, for those who remember 9/11, it was, America versus terrorism. And then we had the recession of 2008. It was, every business, even almost globally, because it was almost a global recession. It was, how do we help our business stay alive or stay afloat? We're in this unique situation where it's now humans versus a virus. And so it's not human versus humans for the first time, except for the pandemic in 1918, where I've had more conversation with business owners and people who just want to see how you're doing. It's all about giving away. Like, how can I keep helping? Give, give, give. And the conversations I've had with clients, it's conversations like, hey, can we extend out our payment terms? And when you ask them why, it's because they want to keep their team. And so, the conversations we have with our clients are, hey, let's just be real honest. Let's keep everybody whole. And it's not about profit right now. It's about, how do we keep our teams intact? And I tell you what, to me, that's the message right there. So, which, I don't know if you've heard that. I'm sure you have, the phrase, the new norm, which I kind of despise at the moment. Everyone's like, this is our new norm. It's horrible. The only thing I hope that becomes the new norm is that the mentality that is happening about people focusing on people and going, hey, are you okay? Are you doing well? How's the family? I hope that becomes a norm, because we go we're so fast, especially in the United States, but all over the world. So
it's a tricky part to be part of, right? You got to figure how to, not only, some of the problems with that is, like, clients come to you extending stuff, but you also have your own team to worry about, right?
yeah.
Like,
Oh gosh, yeah.
sure, you can extend it, but that means your team could suffer too, which is a problem.
Yeah. Well, it is. And that's where I think it has to just be a candid conversation. On both sides. And it's almost like a weird thing. It's like playing poker where you're exposing all your hand. And you're like saying, okay, my dad always plays this one card game called 7 Up, 7 Down. And he's always using the phrase, he's like, hey, if we all play our cards right, we all win. And, inevitably someone will play it so they can win. And then somebody goes down, somebody goes out. When I think in this situation, I think now, you have to rely on the humanity of everybody else, and for them to understand and say, look, this is what I need to protect my company and to protect our team. Like I said, it's not about the profit right now. And if they're a good partner, they'll get that. And I guess my belief is, generally, I believe in that humanity of our clients. But I also say, like, we select our clients just like they select us, and I think that's a big thing. So.
Yeah, but it has to be a candid conversation, right? It can't be just across the board, because you want to keep the client, but you also got to protect your team. So it's both ways.
So how do you think on the outskirts of this, meaning, we project 2, 4, 6 months out and all that, and this is all done. Do you feel, who knows? Do you think out of this, you will actually have stronger relationships with your own clients?
Yeah.
At a personal level.
The team does. Team is really good at it, so I think the team will. But also, I think that, in my opinion, if all survive this, I think it's going to be a better positioning thing for a lot of us. I was listening to Newfangled had David
Baker.
Yeah, and that was interesting. But that's with any company. It's going to be people who survive, people who are close. I mean, that's just given. And you kind of can't sustain it. But I think we're all going to come out better on top of it.
Oh yeah.
in this industry. And digital industries are different. Like tech is just going to be around. Like everything is
Yeah.
run on it. So, you know, it's
Do you
kind of like
think?
it's still a crapshoot.
Yeah, I agree. How do you think this will change your business, or will it?
Um,
I mean, you're like me. We both have remote teams. We've always had remote teams. We're used to
I mean,
working
we have
that
an
way.
office. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we
Same.
set up the whole
Yeah.
company that way, but we still have the same, like, half our team is remote, and our
Yeah.
clients are remote, so we talk to them like that too. So that doesn't
Right.
really, it's never been a problem. So for us, we never had to jump into like a full on, oh my God, now we have to be remote.
Yeah.
It's just okay.
Exactly.
Work from home. Like this is what we do.
Yeah.
That kind of suck that we have to. Little things like, in the afternoons I try to like throw something funny in the team room so that everybody's talking because I know they're talking on calls with clients and back and forth
Right.
between each other, which
Yeah.
is good. But there's like whole, there's a little bit of a split between marketing, internal marketing, and everybody else. So and
Oh yeah.
production work. Um, but we all talk all day. Few things like Bob and I, which is my business partner, we catch up every single day. We used
Right.
to do this when we were in different rooms. So little things like that, I think, just changes it, and then just over communication about everything.
Yeah.
I think is important. So
Yeah.
other than that, it doesn't really, for me, it doesn't really change.
Yeah. I was gonna say the only thing that's been a little different. It felt like, in some ways, almost how I was 15 years ago. Because when we started off 15 years ago, we were 100% remote.
Hmm.
I remember like I was working in my basement, and the funny thing is like it was cement. It wasn't even a finished basement.
Wow.
Um, and then I stayed home for the first 5 years while our kids were little, and then went off to an office. And so I've been, in an office for 10 years with other people, but we always still kept that remote piece. So it was really, I actually fought it. I'd probably say I was probably the biggest fighter of it because I let the team do it, but I still would always go, like the first few days, I still would go back to the office. And then finally I'm like,
Listen, I love the office. Like I love
yeah,
going
I did
to the
too.
office. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things. I mean, after you do this for almost 20 years, you kind of get into it, right?
Yeah.
Um, but,
Well,
but
it's a
if I
separation.
have to,
Yeah.
yeah. But if I have to, it doesn't bug me. I
Yeah.
think it's just the way you have to communicate overall is changed, and how
Yeah.
I trust the delivery side and the client side to be great.
Yeah.
And I trust it. It's just on this side is going, all right, are we fine? Are we okay? Long term, like, can we do this? It's been definitely interesting.
Yeah. One of the things that's been helpful for our team, the ironic thing is, I would say the people that have struggled with it the most on our team have been our millennials. And
Really?
and I think, yeah, it's been interesting. And I've read a couple things about it. We're saying millennials like control, like they like the ability to control their own destiny, their own self. They don't want to be boxed in. And the fact that they're being told you have to stay at home, you have to do that is, you know, it's like the big guy upstairs saying, no, you're stuck. You got to do that. So they're almost a sense of rebellion. That could be a little bit of it. I think the other part of it too, which is interesting, I heard somebody say is they didn't go through 9/11. They didn't go through the recession. So this is their first
Mm-hmm.
thing that they had to deal with
Biggie. Yeah.
where
Hmm.
this is, I hate to say this is a third one. I hate that,
Yeah.
you
We
know,
yeah. Well, the problem with this, I think, for us is that they haven't seen any. We have seen multiple of these, right?
yeah,
But the problem with this one, it's such a global
yeah,
thing
right.
that's not, even if you think about 9/11 and the financial crisis, you kind of, there's progress, right? It happened
Hmm.
in the day, and then you go, okay, now we can recover from it. This
Right.
is going to be going on and on and on. This is not a
Yeah.
one day type of thing, right?
No.
Um, Basically, like 9/11 happened, and then The next day you go recovery. Yeah, it took people, a week or whatever it took,
Yeah.
but you still knew where you're gonna go with it. Same thing with a crash. It happened in one, like it was slowly getting there, and it crashed one day, and then
Yeah.
it was recovery again, right? But it
Yeah.
wasn't a health thing. It wasn't people dying. I mean,
Yeah.
9/11, yes, but it was one event.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Agreed. And I remember, I don't know, like I was trying to remember that time, and I remember like the first week, it was everybody was stunned,
mhm.
and you didn't want to work. And then you basically about a week in, 2 weeks in, all of a sudden you're like, man, I gotta have. I remember going like, I gotta get out. I gotta get some normalcy back in my life. And it's like I wanted to go to work.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it's what I've been saying is like last week or week before, everybody got hit over with a bat, and then just like this daze of
oh
holy shit, right?
yeah,
This is going on. And now it's like, all right, people are starting to webinar, people are jumping into things.
yeah,
They're just trying to connect with people. That's why I'm doing this.
right. I love
I
that.
mean,
I
this
just
is
had to
just
say it again.
good.
Sorry.
This is just why I'm doing this.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Well, it's fascinating. You were talking about that. I had to pull this up. One of the team members pushed this out in Slack today. They posted this little meme and it says, "Can we start over? If you divide the year 2020 by 5, we get 404. So this year is our error message."
Well, I guess it's like, can we just unplug and plug it back in?
Yeah,
All those things.
exactly. It's all the technology
Um,
world saying all this. So,
I also think like the politics of it has been interesting.
oh,
Been,
yeah,
you know, it's draining. I think as much as like you don't want to see it, but you still want to catch up on what's going on. There's a lot of those kind of things that's just problematic.
yeah. I think the one
Everybody's
thing,
handling differently.
uh, I know, even on the politics side, I think I try not to be a political person by nature, and we all have our views.
Hmm.
Whether and there's parts of my views that are wrong and parts that are right, and so is with everybody. The thing that's been really fascinating is this isn't like one of those things we set and planned for. Like you remember when we had in
No.
2008, it was the collapse of the bank because of what some of the practices that they were doing around mortgages. And we could actually point
Hmm.
to like this was wrong, where this is a virus that nobody ever knew. And the question I'm always wondering, it's like, could we have actually ever truly ever planned for the unknown? And I don't think we can. And the message keeps changing every day. And I hear on both sides of the party line, like, oh, they said this yesterday, and oh, they said this yesterday, and oh, look at they're wrong now. Now they're changing their ways. I'm like, you know what? I think if we think about business as a small business, how many times do we pivot? All the time, because all of a sudden we're learning
Always.
new, always. But because we pivot doesn't mean that we're saying that you were wrong or you failed. It's self-identification that, ooh, this wasn't right, or this is a better way based on the information that we have right now. And
Well, I mean,
I
that's
kind of
just
wish that would
let's go
stop.
one
Yeah.
way, and yeah, go one way, and if you have to pivot, but that's just not. It's just not. Some of the stuff that people are saying is just.
Oh yeah. I think what'll be fascinating is let's go out another 20 years, hopefully I'm done out of the industry. That puts me at 65, 64. And so hopefully I'm retired by then. But I sit there and I think about that and go, we're going to have people studying this in economics classes, in health classes, entrepreneurship classes, business classes, all the industries that they're going to study this from their different perspective, and they're going to analyze it, under a microscope, no pun intended, and they're going to find all the things that we did wrong and all the things we should have done, right? But the reality is, it's amazing. Like you were in the moment, and that's where I kind of think of like leadership, right? Leadership is is not always making the right decision, but it's making a decision. And sometimes you just have to make a
Yeah.
decision with the information you have in front of you,
Mm.
whether
Yeah.
it's wrong or
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
the tough about being a leader. I make decisions all the time that are wrong, but I have to eat the answer,
that's,
the wrong answer.
that's right.
um,
It's buck stops here, right?
yeah, all day long.
All day long. That's right. That's right.
and I go home and it's all at home too. It all stops with me.
Nice. All right, on the lighter note, like last
Yeah.
question, what are you currently obsessed with?
What am I obsessed with? Wow, what a great question. Okay, so I'll give you the two sides of the answer. There's actually, strangely enough, actually, I'll give you three. Number one is making sure that my family is doing okay. I think last week was rough. A 13-year-old, 11-year-old, my wife,
Yeah, you got kids at home. It's
yeah, a dog, a cat. I think our dog is more traumatized to this because he's like
he's like, what are
in
you
and
people
out.
doing here?
Yeah, he's like, dude, leave me alone. I want to take my naps. Um, and so I think it's helping making sure that they're insane or sane through all this. And I think part of that is just having schedules. Like the other night, I was like, all right, fine. I sound like my dad. I'm like, look, we're gonna after every meal, we're cleaning the kitchen. We're gonna have family time where we just go walk. We're gonna play games, 15 minutes a day. That's it. Just we need to have some sanity to our lives. Um, that's number one. Number two, oop, I think can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Good.
My earbuds are dying. The second thing is just quite frankly taking this time and opportunity just to spend with the family and playing games. Like last
Yeah.
night, my daughter and I played Connect Four. When's the last time you played Connect Four?
Oh
So
man,
much
it's been a
fun.
while.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's a great game. And then my son and I played video games. Like I haven't played video games in I don't know how long, but it was so much fun.
I know.
And then the third one that I've really been doing is just writing. Like I like writing, but I've always been struggled. Like I talk to our clients about content all the time about being a thought leader, and I'm like on this kick right now of just doing it for our business and even for myself. And one of the things that I've learned in this is content is interesting because how do you make something that's timeless, but also that's appropriate for the situation right now? And I see a lot of marketers
Mhm.
out there, and I'm really struggling with this. Marketers that haven't changed their tone in what they're marketing. For example, I watched a marketer release a big thing about or I think it was a bank about getting home mortgages, and they're pushing home mortgage. I'm like, who's buying a home mortgage right now? Like, adjust your
Right.
message. And I think that's the fascinating thing. It's like in this time is how do you be appropriate with your message? And I think that's the challenge I've had in even my writing. It's like, how do I be appropriate for today? But it still could be read a year from now and still be seen as just as appropriate. And I find that that's my
But I think
obsession.
that's challenging. Yeah, I mean that's challenging across the board, right? Like
Totally.
and this is kind of weird, but one of my favorite things is watching we're watching live TV and like commercials coming on now with like big
Yeah.
brands changing it on the fly, right? They're like,
Yeah.
I saw the Burger King commercial. They're like, you can't come in the stores right now, but you can still order online and we'll deliver to you with Uber Eats. And it's
Totally.
like, wow, that was like quick, right? You can see a
That's a
lot of
pivot.
those, which is
Yeah.
good. It's a pivot. McDonald's like has this ad with the arches being separate now.
Yeah. I saw that. That was really cool. But I will say
It's
on the
good.
other
There's
side, as
there's a lot of
many,
those cool things.
yeah, I'll say there's as many, and I applaud the brands are pivoting. The sad
Mhm.
thing is the number of brands that haven't, um,
Right.
that they've left it the same. But I
Yeah.
definitely applaud
Yeah.
the ones that have pivoted. I think the other thing that I'm a really, I didn't say this, I should say this, my number fourth obsession is it's really making, as being a business owner, I'm watching a lot of my business owners like being crushed, like my peers being crushed through this. And they're being crushed not because they're closing their business, it's because of their people. And
Yeah.
literally
Yeah. It's harder.
watching them, I've seen more or talked to more grown men cry in the last week, um, over having to let go of their teams. And that's so it's been just hard. And so I think it's that obsession of like, hey, kind of like, how you reached out this week and you said how things, and I answered in a business fashion. You're like, no, no, no. How's your family? And I think it's that obsession of like, hey, are people okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's all about the people. I mean, that's the only thing that I mean. End of the day, like
yeah,
as much as you want to be a, watching some of these guys, just like, oh, you should do coke. I'm like, no, 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 stop, stop. It's a fine
yeah,
line to walk right now,
yeah,
and it's hard to understand sometimes. And you're thinking, it's back to conversation of marketing, right? Like, or
yeah,
lead gen. Like, we you have to be human, but also you need to
totally.
take care of your team, and it's a funny balance right now.
All right, so
So.
I'm curious, what are you obsessed with right now?
No, no, no. This question goes for you. That's it. I
I know,
ask those
but
people.
it's not fair. I gotta hear, I want to hear what you're obsessed with as well.
All right. So I'm obsessed by a lot of things, but my answer, and this is I've been asking this question for at least 2 years now,
Yeah,
and I do it as a networking thing sometimes. Um,
you got to write a book
Actually,
on
was
this.
obsessed. No, so for a long time I've been obsessed about in Jersey. There's this diner or this place across from a GW that
Okay.
takes a ginormous waffle and then takes buffalo chicken and stuffs it in. What else is in there? Yeah, it was a buffalo chicken wrap in a waffle, and then they put honey on top of
Wow.
it. That's what I'm obsessed
Wow.
about. Um, there you go. So
Yeah.
it's funny to ask that question because usually I get the answers you just gave me or one of those
Yeah.
kind of answers, and I just kind of go that way. I just totally,
I
fully
love it.
go sideways. And I don't remember where I get this question from, but somebody said it and asked somebody this question, and this woman, oh, it was an interview question for somebody, and this woman said, "I am obsessed with fried chicken," and I went, "That's what I want." I'm like, that is the it's a perfect like. It's not a
Well,
like, what do you do, stuff like that. It's like, what are you obsessed about? Like, I don't care what the answer is really. It's just making you
yeah.
think because it's so off.
Yeah.
So
It's funny. I have a question like that I use in interviews, and it's a little bit more not it's I don't know if you could answer fried chicken to this, but it says and I heard it again from another guy doing an interview, and he goes, it really told a lot about the person, what they value. And it's
mhm.
strange. It's basically, if you're at the end of your life and you look back and you said you could do one thing that was epic in your life, what was that one thing that was epic? And it's crazy the answers I get, and how many of them are like, you know, I was on an amazing team that did an amazing project. That's the common answer I kind of get.
Meh.
I had one guy literally say like, I bought my mom a house. I'm like, dude, that's pretty epic. So it is fascinating to kind of hear those answers of, what's epic to people. So I like this one. What do you
Yeah.
obsess? I'm gonna this could be one of my new ones.
You, you're welcome to steal it. It's one of my
I'll give
favorites.
you credit. I'll give you
Yeah.
credit.
Thanks, Brandon.
Ah, dude, this is awesome.